I guess I'll just show you what I think would be reasonable.
Okay.
Um, which is to grab a protractor and to draw a 60-degree angle first. Like that to me seems super reasonable. And I don't know if you
Okay.
have
Yeah.
one, but that seems super reasonable because otherwise you're struggling here to I mean to actually make 60 angles is pretty hard. You have to make a 90-degree angle, did thing to do. So, you can imagine here that's a 60-degree angle there,
Yeah.
something like that. And then uh one of the things I'm not seeing on your drawing there is just look at it one more time is I'm not seeing it labeled, kind of labeled. You want to basically give it the points A, B, and C. We talked about that. It's the middle letter has to be the vertex.
Yeah. I think that's why
The
he
middle
skipped
letter.
it is because I put A and C in like inside of the V shape instead of outside, and that's why he circled on those parts. If that you get what I'm saying?
Okay, now do you have a compass?
No.
Okay, you need one for this class.
Well, we
All
haven't
right.
used the compass once.
So I get okay. So all right. Well, that's really because there's a way to do this where you bisect the angle. I mean, that's what this appears to be asking
Yeah,
you to
we've been
do.
just learning just split it down the middle with the line and then label
Okay.
whatever it is supposed to be.
Okay. Well, I mean the bisector like you have drawn there is in this case though, it's what's called a ray. This is a ray. It's got the one arrow on one side. So a ray starts at a point B in this case and extends infinitely in one direction. The next thing is to show congruence. So these are congruent here, like that. Um, I mean, you're kind of close. I mean, I don't know if you got any points on this, but the things that are missing are the labels for the points.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
the
this has to have an arrow on the end because it's a ray, because it extends infinitely.
and then would you label that array with
Yeah,
D?
yes, needs a
Yeah.
second letter there. Yeah, exactly. But you've got to show the point. Like you can't just kind of pick an arbitrary, uh, you know,
Yeah.
it's got to be like a labeled there. Now these probably should also have arrows on it, but probably get away without that.
All right.
Okay, so that's what they're looking for number one, something like that. I still think did other students have a compass and a protractor?
No, we haven't used the compass once. We've used the protractor. We learned how to use a protractor, but we weren't supposed to have a protractor on this test.
Okay, all right, I'll stop asking.
Yeah.
All right, so so now for part C again, we label this A, B, and D. If the whole thing is 60 degrees and you cut it in half, what should the other ones be if you
Wait,
cut it
I'm
in
sorry.
half?
I didn't hear you on that.
Okay, well, the whole angle is 60 degrees. And
Yeah,
if you cut it in half, so this is C, what is each of those parts?
30.
30. Okay. Okay. So that's the answer to part C.
Uh,
Um, so the idea is that an angle bisector cuts the angle in half.
okay.
Okay. Angle bisector, something is bisected, it cuts in half. It could be an angle, could be a line segment.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Okay, so number two, just give me some feedback here. I mean, it doesn't look like you're able to put anything down here. What do you think
Oh
is the
no, so we
reason?
had to pick between one or two to do.
Oh,
So I
okay.
picked doing one instead of the
I
second
see.
one.
I see that. Choose one or
Yeah,
two to
yeah, yeah.
complete.
Hmm.
All right. Well, that's weird. Okay.
So we go to three
Uh,
and
all right. 5x. Okay. All right. So 3A, sketch a diagram of an equilateral triangle with correct markings. Okay.
I was really unsure about this one, to be honest. That
Well, you
was,
have your diagram is okay.
yeah.
It's not off, like it's correct.
Okay.
So sometimes I think you get maybe got too caught up in some of the details here. Now you have a triangle with three congruent sides, three congruent angles. Okay. What you've drawn is fine. Okay. All the angles are the same, all the sides are the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the perimeter is 21 inches. Okay, so what does that tell you about each side? What is the side length?
Um, they're all the same because it's a triangle.
Okay, so can you tell me what the length of each side is if all three sides are 21 together?
7 or,
7. Yeah. Why are you unsure about that? Why?
well, I was
What is?
just, I don't know. I just overthink things in math. I was just unsure.
Okay. Well, like sometimes you have to like use some reasonableness. Like, okay, they're all 7. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Now,
what I
now
was,
the question is unnecessarily complicated, but they're telling you that the two sides are represented by the expressions x plus 4 and 3x minus 2. So it
yeah.
doesn't matter which one, but you're going to pick one of them is x plus 4 and one of them is 3x minus 2.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which one. Okay. So can you solve one or the other for x?
You want me to solve one of the other for x?
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one. Solve one of those equations for x.
Okay.
I want to interrupt really quickly.
Sure.
Remy, this is an opportunity that you're overcomplicating this. You know what you need to add to 4 to get 7.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, that's what X
Yes.
is.
Well, I'm just doing it in like
I
the
know, but like,
formulas you're doing.
but sometimes
3
it
equals
can be
x.
easy. It's okay.
Well, I know.
I'm just saying, like,
taught all the time.
I know, but this will help you to use just common sense about things. Right, Matthew? I'm
Well,
wanting.
that's fine with me. So that's why I gave him the choice here, because it doesn't matter to me
Yeah,
which one he does, because they both give him the same answer. Now, if you're going to solve this one for x, I want you to try 3 in the other one and decide if that is true. Does this make this true? Is 3 times 3 minus 2 equal to 7? Does that work?
Yeah.
Are you
So,
sure?
well, yeah.
Okay. Like make sure like be confident in your answer. Like either you agree or you
Yeah.
don't, or you're not sure.
Yeah, I
Like,
do agree.
yeah.
It's
Okay,
tell us
good.
why.
because 3 times 3 is 9 minus 2 is 7.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
why would I
Good.
just do that?
We just want to know that you know.
Good. So this is part B. All right, and part C, you've already answered. So you know, so not, you don't have to do them in order, I guess is the point. The side lengths are 7. Now, you know, so your dad's there, like this question is a terrible question because it's overly complicated. Because if you actually look, A isn't really a question. It's more like do this, which is kind of what he did here. Although they're looking for something like this, maybe very unclear. Um, they're asking for the value of x, and then they put x here. Like it should say b or something, and then c or something. Um, C also sort of gives the
Hmm.
impression that the side lengths might be different, even though it's an equilateral triangle. So, like
Right.
whoever wrote this did not do a very good job of constructing this question. It's terrible. But I'm not
Yeah.
going to justify like that as a reason for, I mean, you're not getting it right. Like there's no way that that can be 60, but just so you know, this is not a good question at all. Like this is a terrible way of doing this. So not sure what's going on over here on the right, Remy.
No,
But
I don't.
maybe it's from a different problem, but hopefully you see now, like, don't overcomplicate it. Draw the thing, you know, if
It's
it's
way
21 inches.
simpler than I think it is all the
Yeah,
time.
yes. Like your
Yeah,
dad said,
we understand that. I think Remy visualizing numbers is different than it is for me to visualize numbers, and I'm just trying to find a place that he can get comfortable with it, as are you, obviously, and I'm trying to relearn some geometry to help. And anyway, yeah.
okay, so let's try something similar here. Let's have you, Remy, sketch an isosceles triangle. Sketch an isosceles triangle. Let's see, is that what all it says here? Yeah, with correct markings, okay? So that's a good thing for us to have you try right now.
Wait, oh, okay, yeah.
Which one is it?
It's not, he's just doing practice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a practice problem, because you'll have to send over 4 if you want us to go through that. I don't have that question.
Oh, it didn't go through, 4 did it?
It's all right, let's just.
Oh, okay, do you just want me to tell you what the triangle would look like?
No, I want you to give it, draw it on your paper, and let's see if we can we'll see if we're on the same.
Would it just be a triangle with 2 sides that are equal?
There's a bit more to it.
And
Do you have something down on your paper?
yeah, I have the marking.
Okay. Does your triangle look like this or something else?
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, so these 2 sides are congruent,
And then the
and
bottom
then
one.
the base angles are congruent. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we can add a bit more to this. We can say if the perimeter is 20 and the side that is not congruent, or I'm sorry, and let's try to word this correctly, and the um let's see here. No, I'll just say the non-congruent sides. So I'm referring to this one down here on the bottom. What is the length of the missing of the other sides of the congruent sides? Say it that way. All right. So, right off the bat, I'm trying to make this not too confusing, but I'm telling you the perimeter of all 3 sides is 20.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm telling you the non-congruent side, which is the one on the bottom, which you could actually just say the base. Let me just say the base. Base is 4. What is the length of the congruent sides?
20?
Perimeter is 20.
Oh, the
Perimeter of
perimeter is
20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay, each side would be
Don't give me an answer until you're 100% sure it's
okay,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's basic subtraction.
You can work out some numbers, you can write an
Yeah,
equation, but
yeah. It would be 16, or it would be 8, right?
yes, 8, 8, and 4. Okay, so don't
Yeah.
overcomplicate it. Now, if I later on tell you that 5x minus 2 is equal to one of the sides,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I want you to now solve for x. So this is, and to be clear, I mean the congruent side. So the non-base side. So I'm telling you, I'm trying to like give you a problem like the one we just did. Basically, this congruent side refers to the 8 here. So I'm asking you to solve this equation.
Okay. It would just be x equals 2, right?
That is correct. Very good. Okay, do you want to send over question 4 real quick or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It says I did on the text message. It's one above
Yeah,
the
it's empty. I don't know if you want
okay.
to resend it if you can.
All right, I just did.
I've actually never seen that in the chat where it's completely empty.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So there's a lot more to this one. Okay, good. We should go through this. I was wondering if you're gonna get like a median or an altitude or something.
Yeah, at
like
this
you
point I
got,
was, yeah, I didn't. Not much of this one.
Like, Matthew,
yep,
so like with slope, I just want to clarify some basic formulas
sure,
real quick.
yeah, sure.
You got, slope is y2 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. Is the 2 always the like right hand number? In other words, the bigger positive number?
No, so the convention, and let me just grab the points here. So, because you're gonna find that the convention, you just as long as you're consistent. So in the first point, it's x1 and y1, x2 and y2.
Mm-hmm.
But you can actually also do this where you just use you make the one on the right x1 and y1, x2 and y2. What matters is that you're referring to the same subscript for the like the first point and second
Oh,
point. That's what
really?
matters. Yeah,
Oh, so you can
actually works.
subtract it the opposite way and it still will result in the same fraction
Yes,
or whatever? Yeah?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
good to know. And then I
yes.
saw another equation, Remy was showing me, I think it was like,
Point slope form.
okay, point slope form, and it was, can you show it to me,
It's
Remy?
y minus, well, he doesn't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, y minus
So,
y equals m, x minus x.
so is that the same where y and x, as long as they are from the same thing, it doesn't matter what you call them, kind of deal?
The requirement in this formula is to provide an m and then an
Mm-hmm.
x1 and a y1.
And you
And you
leave the, yeah, okay.
yeah, you leave and leave these in there. These are left
Oop.
left.
Is that like a complicated explanation as to why?
It's just a format. It's just a type of equation where this is the requirement of
Okay.
it. It serves. So I don't know. I mean, like this is useful, but I mean it depends on the problem. I mean, like
Yeah.
like the teacher can specify what they want. Um, this is the one that's preferred like in higher level math courses. Um, but it doesn't really matter in his course. But they should specify. They have to specify what they want, which in part C they want point slope form.
Is the most common form the y equals mx plus b? Is that the most common one?
That's the one that's taught first. It's not the necessarily the most useful. Um, and then there's standard form. There's also some other forms that aren't used anymore, which I don't remember off the top of my head because they're never used. But these three are the main ones, and students out of Algebra 1 are expected to be able to move between them. That's kind of a key, I don't know what you call it, learning objective, I guess.
Okay.
But like they're supposed to know these, meaning like they've seen them before and they're supposed to be super comfortable with them.
Yeah. Well, we're doing a little catch up for algebra 1 at the same time, I'm pretty sure. But
Yes.
I
Okay.
know that. You were the one that
well,
doesn't know that.
I'm doing catch up anyway.
Okay. So the based on this here, like I said, doesn't matter which order you do. So if you do -7 minus a -1 over 3 minus 0 for the slope, that's the same as -1 minus a -7 over 0 minus 3. You'll see here in the one on the left here that it becomes -7 plus 1 over 3, which is -6 over 3, which is -2. The one on the right becomes -1 plus 7 over -3, which is 6 over -3, which is also -2. They give you the same thing. As long as you're consistent, you're good here.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Midpoint formula, that's an important one here to have as well.
Yeah.
My guess is with Remy, there's nothing individually that he can't do. Like if you ask him to find the slope, or you ask him to, you know, find the midpoint. Like I think he can do all of that. It's just when it's sequenced together like it is here, that's becomes pretty challenging. All
Does it
right.
seem like it's like the tracking of numbers and or like
He needs
visualize?
more he needs more repetition,
Yeah.
and then he's got it. He'd have to do a problem like 4 a bunch of times, then he would get it.
So do you
We
think
doing
for us, practice